Hello everybody, and welcome back to another video. In today's episode, we will be going over dosing, a guide to dosing, how to dose out your medication properly, and not overdoing it or underdoing it. My name is Andrew French. I'm not a doctor. I am just somebody who likes to gather information and puts it into a PowerPoint that hopefully most can understand. So, the overview for this video. What are milligrams, mgs, micrograms, mcg, and international units, IUs? Vial concentrations. For anabolics, it is milligrams over milliliters. Peptides, it is milligrams per vial. And for GH, also insulin, is IUs or international units. Reading, we will also go over how to read a syringe and also go over the concentrations and calculations, how many milligrams you want to inject per week, and also how much volume per injection do you do. Milligrams, micrograms, and international units. For milligrams or mgs, it is the mass. This is commonly used with testosterone and other anabolics, so it is milligrams per milliliter. For micrograms or mcgs, it is 1/1000th of a milligram, so 1,000 micrograms equals 1 milligram, or 1 milligram equals 1,000 micrograms. This is used with peptides and other smaller hormones. For international units, or IUs, it is a biological activity unit used for hormones, such as growth hormone and insulin. Reading a syringe. So, for units, this is 10 IUs, 20 IUs, 30 IUs, 40 IUs, 50 IUs, and so on. Each of these smaller tick marks are by 2. So we have 2 units, 4 units, 8 units, 2 units, 4 units, 6 units, 8 units, and then 10. So this would be 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and so on. Now, when we're reading in milligrams, this is 0.1 milligram. This whole syringe is all 1 milligram, 1 milliliter. Now, reading a syringe. A whole syringe usually contains 100 units. This is 10 units, 20 units, 30 units, 40 units, 50 units, and so on. These smaller tick marks down here are by 2s. So this is 2 units, 4 units, 6 units, 8 units, and 10 units, going on 12, 14, 16, 18, 20 units. Now, when talking about milliliters, this whole thing is typically 1 milliliter. There are syringes that can hold 3 milliliters or even 10 milliliters, but hopefully you will not be injecting that much at one time. But for milliliters, this would be 0.1 milliliters, 0.2 milliliters, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, and so on. Now, when we get to these little tick marks, this will be 0.02, 0.04, 0.06, 0.08, and then 0.1. Going on, this would be 0.12, 0.14, 0.16, 0.18, and then 0.2 milliliters. So that is how you approach milliliters and international units. Calculations. So there is a calculation used for milliliters or milligrams per milliliter, and this is typically anabolics. So first calculation that you do to find out how many milligrams per week you need to inject is the desired dosage divided by the vial dosage. And that will give you the number of milliliters to inject per week. Next, you take this number, put it here, number of milliliters or cc's, divided by the frequency of how of how much you want to inject. So this would be 7 for every day injection, or 3.5 for every other day injection, or you could just do 1 if you just want to inject once. But if you know anything about anabolics, you need to inject it every day, no matter what it is, for the best progress and least amount of side effects experienced. So let's put this into words. Let's say you want to dose 250 milligrams per week and you have a vial that is 300 milligrams per milliliter. And you also want to inject every day or every other day. So you take that 250 milligrams per week, divided by that 300, and that would mean that you draw out 0.83 milliliters on the syringe. So looking back, it would be here, in between the 2 and the 4. Just hit it the best you can. Sometimes they have a tick mark here, sometimes they don't. You can just kind of guess once it gets to that kind of point. But you draw there. So you want to do it everyday injection. So that would be 0.83 milliliters divided by 7. So every day you inject 0.12 milliliters per day. Coming back, 0.12 here. You would be injecting this much of medication every day. Now, let's say that you want to do it every other day. It is 0.83 milliliters divided by 3.5 days, and this comes to 0.24. So you would be drawing to here. This is 0.2 and then 0.04, so 0.24. Now, when it comes with peptides and growth hormone, I always suggest just use a website. So if we click into this peptide calculator website, it'll take us to pepcal.net. So what is the total volume of your syringe? Most people will have 1 milliliter or 100 unit insulin syringe or normal syringe. What is your peptide vial quantity? Let's say that you have a vial that has 10 milligrams. Let's say we're talking about GLPs. You have a GLP that is 10 milligrams for the vial. It will say it on there, or when you buy it, that's how you know how much is on it. How much barostatic water are you adding? Most people add 3 milliliters. That is 3 milliliters injected into the vial of barostatic water. And then what is the dose that you want to inject? So let's say every week you want to have 2 milligrams. So 2 milligrams is not on this. So what you need to do is come down here and click other. This is in micrograms. So if we look back in the video, 1 microgram equals 1,000 milligrams. 1,000 micrograms equals 1 milligram. So for 2 milligrams, we would have to type in 2,000. Click off, and it for one single shot for 2 milligrams of a GLP, you will draw to the 60 mark. Now, let's say that you want 4. It is exceeded. So this means that you would have to inject twice a week or inject twice in one day. This is 120. So what you'd have to do is just divide it by 2 and you get 60. So you can inject 60 units twice a week, or just do the 120, just do 2 60 unit injections. Now let's go to the IU, because it's a little bit different. So your peptide vial. So let's say it is growth hormone. Typically growth hormone comes in 10 IU vials. It can be more. Your desired dosage, let's change it to IU. Let's say that you want to inject 5 units of growth hormone every night. You typically constitute it with 1 ml. So which syringe are you using? 1 milliliter. So that would just mean you pull to the 50, 5 for 50. It is by tens. Now let's say that your vial has 28 IUs in it. So if you bought a kit, it would be $280 for the whole kit. So, same kind of process. 28 for the IUs. You still want to do 5 IUs of growth hormone every night, reconstituted with 1 ml. It might be better to do 2 just because of the concentration, but this would mean that you inject 17.9. I would typically just go for 18 every night for that 5 IU dosage. So that's how it is for the growth hormone. I believe that is it for the video. So, if you have any questions, make sure to look back in the video to make sure that you didn't miss anything. You can keep rewinding it until you get it, or you can comment down below and I will answer some questions for you if you need it. I am still working on the blood work video. It will take a while because it is so in-depth and there's a lot of little things I need to cover in many topics branching off of one topic. So, I look forward to getting that done. A lot of people need it, but I am also working on smaller videos just like this one. So, if you have any questions, comments, just comment down below. Also, give me some more video topics that you want me to go over, so hopefully I can help you out. But like, comment, subscribe, follow me on my social medias that will be linked down below or on my YouTube page. Thank you for watching. Once again, like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.